What? Another anime video? What is this becoming, James? An anime channel? Well, short answer crap. Drop my phone. At this point, I feel like anime has thoroughly covered almost every genre. Action, fantasy, sci-fi, romance, comedy, music, isekai. But the genre of horror is rarely done, and it's even rarer for it to be done well. There's some fantastic series that have horror elements, like The Promised Neverland, Another, and Mononoke, but full-on horror is a whole other story. Most of the time, horror anime tends to use gore as its primary source of trying to get a scare out of the audience, which, while working temporarily, does not leave a lasting effect. Actually, the umbrella scene from Another and 3 parts in Higurashi did, well, for people who've seen Higurashi, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the wall, across, and fingernails. But if you want real, bone-chilling horror, you'll have to look to the world of manga. Of course, if I'm talking about horror manga, I have to mention the Stephen King of horror manga, Ito Junji, and probably his most popular work, Uzumaki. Uzumaki is about a town which is slowly infested with spirals. The story starts off with one person beginning to become obsessed with them and loving them, and then turning into one. His wife ends up getting severe PTSD of the pattern of spirals because of Mr. Cinnamon Roll over here, which is a big problem when there are spirals inside of your body and she wants to get rid of them. The concept continues growing, and while being 900 pages long, never really gets old. If you're in the mood for some good old-fashioned nightmare fuel, go check out Uzumaki. It's only 1 volume, and I highly recommend it. When comparing horror anime to horror manga, we can look to none other than Ito Junjin's very own collection anime compared to its manga counterpart. The manga has what I like to call jump scare page flips, where you know something bad is going to happen on the next page, but you don't necessarily know what it is. The reveal is always something horrific that is so detailed that I don't know whether to burn it or hang it in an art gallery. The anime can't exactly do that because it has to be in motion, and Junji Ito has said that it takes him upwards of 2 hours to draw 1 jump scare panel. So, for an anime adaptation, you have 2 options. Draw it for the same level of detail as the manga, which would take like 3 decades, or butcher the art, which would be more likely. Which is exactly why I do not want an adaptation of Oyasumi Punpun, okay? It's great, just read the manga. I do not want Inyo Asano's art ruined by some garbage adaptation, so just please, thank you. How do I end this part? That was just the end of the script that I wrote, and now I don't know what to do. I'll do a funny. I'll do a funny, I guess. Yeah, James in the future, edit in something funny right here, please. This is really awkward. Some other horror manga recommendations I would have would be Ibitsu, a short story very reminiscent of an urban legend, Pupa, which is another example of a great horror manga which was absolutely butchered in its anime adaptation, MPD Psycho if you're looking for some psychological stuff, and Seeds of Anxiety, which is a series of short stories about irrational fears, which has the most disturbing art in anything. So, horror anime and manga, what's the consensus here? What have we decided? Well, it might be extraordinarily cliche for me to say this. Just read the manga.
Why don't you understand that anime belongs in the trash?